Emily Ratajkowski is a fabulous model. In fact, she is one of the top models of the world. And like many models, she posts photos on Instagram. A few years ago, a famous artist took one of her Instagram posts and turned it into a work of art. Emily felt strange and frustrated at why a big time fancy artist would snatch one of her Instagram posts and sell it as his own. She felt compelled to own her image and decided to put together $80,000 to buy that piece back. Again, a few years later, a photographer released Polaroids of Emily without her consent and even sold a book and opened a gallery dedicated to her. Emily was insanely furious this time around. This is the plight of many creators. For over 100 years, creators never had ownership over their own works. They always relied on centralized authority for discovery, distribution, and economic value. Emily relied on Vogue, artists rely on Sony Music, and filmmakers on big production houses. And these centralized authorities determined your fate. But the internet changed this. So today, instead of New York Times editors curating news for you, anyone could share their news on LinkedIn and Twitter. Instead of waiting for a magazine feature, anyone could post on Instagram and perhaps go viral. But by cutting the gatekeepers, social media platforms like LinkedIn or Instagram, they themselves became gatekeepers. If you were to look very closely into these gatekeepers, such as YouTube or Spotify or TikTok or Instagram, these platforms are built for advertisers, not for creators and communities. There's a phenomenal article by Rex Whitbury, and I completely concur with his thought process. I think the future of creator economy is the patronage economy, where you will see a direct value exchange between creators and communities. Blockchain technology is going to be the central to this future. With it, creators will monetize creations and, most importantly, monetize individuality. And this is exactly where NFTs or non-fungible tokens come into picture. NFTs are revolutionary because their ownership is immutable and irrefutable. NFTs also expand the idea by letting creators capture future upside. What this basically means is that if an artist becomes popular and builds his or her name in future, then the economic value, even of the sold art, will also continue to rise. In the past, an artist could have never captured that value. For example, one of the Beatles' art pieces resold for $6.6 million after being bought for $67,000 in October. Some of the most interesting innovations in NFTs are happening in the world of music. Music is arguably the industry in which legacy gatekeepers retain most power. While Spotify and Apple have revived music's growth, record labels still capture the lion's share of the economics. Spotify, for example, captures only 33%, while artists receive less than 10%, and the rest goes to record labels. Non-fungible tokens will change this. A few months ago, Kings of Leon announced that they're releasing their new album as an NFT. Owners of each token will get special perks, ranging from limited edition t-shirts to front row concert tickets. NFTs are about monetizing distinct works, but there is something called social tokens, and it is imperative that you learn both concepts together. NFTs are about monetizing distinct works, and social tokens are about monetizing distinct identity. I've done a detailed video on social tokens. Link is going to be in the description, so press on the bell icon and get notified as we decipher the world of public policy, philosophy, psychology, wisdom, and well-being via daily policy shots. Policy Shots is a pro bono initiative of Global Governance Initiative to nurture informed leaders. Good luck, take care, and stay safe.